club got the help of a local filmmaker, Paul McCarrol, to produce a documentary, a 36-minute documentary of the history of the club and some highlights and memories from down through the years, and a lot of interviews as well. And you can see that video up on YouTube. And Paul actually joins us now, and we're streaming online as well if you want to go to our Facebook page or YouTube channel. Paul, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, John. How are you doing?
Good. Well done on the video. It looks great, and it'll be, well, a lot of memories revisited for a lot of people who played for the club, who supported the club, or would have been active, I suppose, behind the scenes.
Yeah. We're getting a lot of views. We've over 1,100 views the last time I looked, so we're all really happy with that, and quite surprised. This village, the official population is about 240, I think. So it's obviously getting shared with the diaspora and the people who are abroad and weren't able to come back for the centenary celebration. So I think it feels like mission accomplished, that it's getting out to the people, and that they seem to be enjoying it as well. It was, for me, it was really, to be honest, an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to get to make this film, because I'm a supporter of the football club, and I'd be down in Culdaff Park every Sunday afternoon along with the rest of the village, and as a filmmaker, you're always on the lookout for fantastic stories, and listening to the people and the friends around you. And I just consider myself lucky to be in the right place at the right time to tell the story of a magnificent football club in a small village, and the community effort that really conspired to make it something epic and bigger than probably anybody imagined at the very start.
And sometimes the big stories or the important stories can be right on your doorstep, and you don't realize just, well, how important they are, to a lot of people, until you start telling that story. And you've put in obviously a lot of effort, because you've interviewed a lot of people, and there's also a lot of footage, Paul, of the village down through the years. So even if people haven't got an interest in the club or in football, it'll be interesting to look at it and see some of those images.
Yeah, absolutely. I was very lucky. My friend Seamus O'Donnell from Carndona has been a social historian, I think, over the last 30, 40 years. So he gave me a lot of old archive footage that I was able to use in the film. And we probably didn't have enough of the early years, but it's very lucky to see the old cars and the old characters walking around the village. And it gives you, the context and I suppose the span of the club. 50 years is a long time, and I think, it's like any football club or anything that lasts 50 years. It's a bit of a roller coaster with ups and downs. But what really impressed me was just the volunteering effort, and from committee members, players, and the ladies who support all the fundraising efforts. It's 100% the community involvement, and to me it just shows what people can do by volunteering, and when that kind of local effort is allied to the kind of vision that the early committee members had, from the very start with David McCandless and the Culdaff Youth Club and Brian Deeney and those guys, like 13 years after they were formed, they opened that pitch with Pat Jennings in 1985. And
great Pat Jennings.
The great Pat Jennings was here, and Derry City came down for the day, and there was huge crowds down there. And that football pitch at Culdaff Park is probably one of the most beautifully located football pitches in the world. Everyone knows how beautiful our beaches are here, and I suppose one of my goals was to say, well, yeah, we have beautiful beaches, but we have a beautiful football club, and even more importantly, we have a really beautiful community where everyone is donating and supporting and giving off their time. But to just have the vision of you know, and Bernard McGuinness and would have played a huge role in helping to make that football pitch happen. And various other people, you know, a good friend of mine, Hugh Diver, came to Culdaff after a glittering career with Swilly Rovers. Came from Ramelton to Culdaff, and he got involved in the committee too in the early years, and also as a player. And then he became a manager, and then a trainer of the youth teams. And when I kind of look at what has happened, you know, Hugh was a player, then his son Dermot was a player, and now his two grandchildren are playing with the underage team. So, and that's only one family. There's about 10 families like that have, you know, the McFeelys have their father, themselves, and now their children are playing. And it's just a beautiful kind of a generational flow, you know.
Having been a supporter, you could probably tell a lot of these stories yourself, but you interviewed, I suppose no one's going to ever know everything that happens. So you chatted to a lot of people, and they had plenty to say about the club and about, you know, some of the games and some of the characters.
Yeah, yeah. I as I said, you're only as a filmmaker, you're only as good as the story and as the contributors, you know. But we had an excellent bunch of contributors from the community, and a lot of them were committee members, John McFeely and Edward Roddy and those guys, you know. And they were, you can see from when they're on camera the passion and the belief they have in the club and the commitment they have to it. So you know, I think the kind of effort was community wide, and people, I think it's just like during the pandemic, I think everybody realized that community is probably the most important thing that we have in the world. And I saw that, you know, when I was living here during the last 3 years. But the truth of the matter is that community spirit in Culdaff has been alive for the whole 50 years, as far as I can see.
Well, it's a great club in a beautiful part of the world, and a pitch that, as you say, one of the most idyllic of locations. And if anybody wants to watch the video, it's on the Culdaff FC Facebook page. We also have it up on highlandradio.com. Paul, thanks a million for chatting to us.
Thanks, John. All the best. Have a good day. Thanks.
See you, Paul. Thanks a million.
Thanks, John. Mind yourself. Bye.